welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, let's take a look at every Premier League club and find the worst, the most stupid thing that any team could do at this stage of the season. Because we've seen so many nonsensical, panicky and just brain dead decisions at this stage of the season so many times in the past. Right, let's go. Arsenal spend £50 million on Abdullah Saima.
Arsenal eye Abdullah Saima, dubbed new Thierry Henry, but told Slavia Prague star 19 who cost £50 million transfer fee.
I'm sorry, who exactly is dubbing him the new Thierry Henry? His mother? Arsenal are in a mess, utterly caused by their utterly horrific recent record in the transfer market. Lately, it's just been £50 million for the Leon version of Michy Batshuayi, dragging in used up Man United yogurt pots, throwing £70 million at a winger who can't cross a damn ball. Oh yeah, and offering a stale pensioner like Willian £250,000 every bastard week. Honestly, do not spend £50 million on some 19-year-old Senegalese forward nobody's even heard of. This guy has only ever played 6 matches in his entire life. I don't care that he scored 6 in 6, it's the damn Czech League. Spending what was once worth a world record transfer fee for Zidane, spending that on some kid out the backers of Prague. If you actually do this rather than strengthen your damn defense, I'm sorry, then your managing director needs to retire and just spend the rest of his life painting fences. Aston Villa cash in on Jack Grealish. Listen, getting Jack Grealish to sign a 5-year deal in September, that could have been a masterstroke. A statement of intent, tying your best player down for another half a decade, getting him to buy into your long-term ambitions for the club. But how many times have we seen a mid-table team convince their star man to commit to a new deal, only to sell him anyway within 6 months? I remember Andy Carroll penning a fat 5-year deal at Newcastle in October 2010. Lads, within 2 months, he was being paraded at Anfield on a £35 million deal. This could just have been a ploy by the club designed to get a bigger transfer fee for the soggy lump of hair gel. And if you do sell him for 100 million quid in January, who are you actually going to replace him with? Solly March? Jared Bowen? Dwight McNeil? Good Christ. Brighton, stick with Graham Potter. Okay, I am done with the Graham Potter hype. For over a year now, I've been hearing football hipsters salivate over this guy as if he's some footballing oracle.
Graham Potter has Solly March completing 4 dribbles per 90, and some of you are trying to tell me Lance is a better coach?
You will not find a more accurate summation of hipster football language than this. Brighton are 16th in the league. I don't care if he gets the ball on the deck. I don't care if they play decent stuff. I don't care if Potter licks a portrait of Johan Cruyff's face every morning before work. The style of play, it might work with top class or decent players, but it does not work at a club like Brighton and Hove Albion. Please stop trying to convince yourselves that it does. Here's the harsh reality. Brighton have won 2 games this season, and none at home. And if you think this is just a slump in form, no. You've only won 2 games at home since November 2019. And one of them was against Arsenal, so it doesn't really even count. A club like Brighton, scrapping for survival every year, they need to adopt the Big Sam blueprint of making their home ground a fortress, not crumbling like a flake of Weetabix every other weekend. You don't have the players for this style of football. You've only scored 16 goals all season. Please, this new age football hipster god is going to relegate you. So please, just get him out and give the job to a more practical coach like Nigel Pearson. Burnley, sack Sean Dyche. Burnley won't do this, even though they're in a relegation scrap. Lads, they went down in 2015 and still didn't sack Sean Dyche. Good, because the day they do get rid of a guy who's worked utter miracles at Turf Moor is the day I lose faith in the human race. Yeah, the table doesn't look pretty, and 6 goals scored all season is a bit of a shambles. But if you're going up against gritty Big Sam Allardyce in a relegation battle, then you need a strong personality in your dugout. Another guy with experience of this dogfight. Sacking Dyche for what? David Wagner? Gary Monk? Mark Hughes? Phil Neville? No, stick with Dyche. Chelsea sell Olivier Giroud. This is obvious. Olivier Giroud is like that unfashionable toy at Chelsea. But lads, this guy might be 34, but he still knows where the back of the net is. Any side looking to win a league title or even get into the top 4, they need a plan B. And Giroud is arguably the best plan B in the league. Crystal Palace sack Roy Hodgson. Yeah, usually if a manager loses 7-0 at home, the fans aren't really too happy. Crystal Palace fans usually pipe up once every 5 games or so to complain and demand that a guy who looks nearly as old as time itself should be handed his P45 in exchange for a more modern thinking manager. Like who? Frank de Boer? Yeah, remember how that one turned out? Yes, conceding 7 goals in 1 match is embarrassing. But let's just remember, you have 18 points from 14 games. You have beaten Southampton and Man United, struck a combined 9 goals past Leeds and West Brom. You've recently taken points from Tottenham and an informed West Ham. Come on, you are Crystal Palace. Never take survival in the Premier League for granted. Everton, keep rotating goalkeepers. Carlo Ancelotti is another managerial genius. But it's just me who thinks he should probably stop rotating the goalkeepers. Robin Olsen, a Sweden international. He seems to step in once a month. He's played in the Premier League against Newcastle and Leicester. Yeah, he's a decent goalie, but you need your number one to be playing week in, week out. Dropping Jordan Pickford every 4 games is just gonna mess with his head. What does it do for his confidence or his relationship with the back four? Carlo, play Olsen in the cups, fine, but Christ above, stop messing around with England's number one. Fulham, keep dropping ALEKSANDR Mitrovic. If Fulham are to stay up this season, ALEKSANDR Mitrovic needs to start every week. Over the last month, he's been in and out of the team. He's only started once over the last 6 games. I'm not saying Mitrovic is some Serbian goal machine who's going to challenge for the golden boot, but good Christ, where else are the goals going to come from? This lad is clearly a confidence player. Yes, his neck tattoo makes him look like the son of a Serbian mafioso, but make no mistake about it, he's a sensitive child. Scott Parker, use your people skills that you had when you were a captain. Build up his confidence, tell him you believe in him, because this fella has all the tools to score the goals to keep you in this division. Leeds, fans get carried away. Walk before you can run. I know Leeds United are a massive club, yes, but lads, you've been outside the top flight for 16 years. The aim for this season is survival and nothing more. Yes, you play lovely attacking football, but you're as inconsistent as balls. It's results like sticking 5 past Newcastle or Patrick Bamford sliding in a hat-trick at Villa Park that seems to have people thinking Leeds are back as some sort of major force. Lads, it was only a month ago you were losing 4-1 twice in the space of a week. You'll stay up this season and that should be enough. Leicester, accept Arsenal's compensation package for Brendan Rodgers. There's always those clubs who consistently punch above their weight, who eventually acclimatize to success and just accept that's the norm now. Forgetting that Leicester City were actually in League One over 10 years ago, why do I get the feeling Leicester City fans wouldn't be too bothered if Brendan Rodgers deferred to Arsenal? Rodgers is currently tipped 3-1 to replace Mikel Arteta at Arsenal. I promise you lads, if he leaves Leicester City, he is taking European football with him. Keep Rodgers at all costs. Liverpool, don't sign a defender in January. This would be arrogance. Utter Jurgen Klopp arrogance to think he can win a league title without a recognised back four. Virgil van Dijk's injury is a massive blow, and yes, you've coped well in his absence, but please don't forget how precious a second Premier League title would be to the fans, especially after they weren't allowed to celebrate the first one. Don't gamble that by continuing to chuck unproven teenagers and Fabinho into your backline. I think Connor Cody ticks every box. A born and bred Scouser spent 9 years at the club, and you won't find a hungrier defender more eager to succeed at Anfield this season than him. He's an England international, a ball-playing centre half, and I know he's the Wolves captain, but there is no way he is passing up the prospect of a Premier League winner's medal with his boyhood club. Go on, chuck another £50 million at Wolves and this man is yours. Man City, don't replace Sergio Aguero. I know it probably sounds like sacrilege. Replacing Sergio Aguero, Man City's record goal scorer. If you're serious about dominating world football, it's a damn necessity. Let's face it, if you're a club hell-bent on winning the league every year, you cannot depend on Aguero anymore. He's 32, riddled by a dodgy knee injury. Last season was the first time he didn't hit 20 goals since 2014. He started just twice this season, and in his absence, you've dropped 12 points. 12 points that would have had you 4 points clear with a game in hand. Gabriel Jesus is a good player, but nowhere near a 30-goal-a-season striker. City haven't signed a world-class centre-forward since Aguero, and that was nearly 10 years ago. Go out and sign Erling Haaland. He was only born 45 minutes down the road, and his dad used to play for the club. It just makes sense. Failing to replace Aguero is like failing to replace a faulty fire alarm. Have fun when your house goes up in flames. Man United don't take Europa League seriously. Listen, I'm sure Man United fans are hating the fact that they're in the Europa League, and probably resent any thought of any sport taking place on a Thursday night. But as we've seen in the past, when English clubs haven't taken this competition seriously, the Europa League might be seen as a tin pot competition for these elite clubs. But Christ above, lads, it's a golden ticket back into the Champions League. Just win the damn thing. Newcastle, keep Karl Darlow as number 1. I know there's probably loads of you who think Karl Darlow has earned the number 1 shirt at Newcastle this season. Listen, don't get me wrong, he's played very well, but lads, don't forget just how good Martin Dubravka has been for the club. He's close to a return from injury, and such is the short-term goldfish memories of football fans. Half the Geordie fan base will probably want him sold, and for the young Darlow to be kept in the team. I'm sorry, yes, Darlow does look like something ripped straight out of Love Island, but he's not young, he's 30 years of age. He's just a year younger than Dubravka. This isn't some young goalkeeping potential prodigy. Nah lads, he's older than David De Gea, and there's a reason he's been chained to Newcastle's bench for years. Honestly, binning up Dubravka, a guy once linked with PSG, because of 3 months of Darlow form? Just no. Sheffield United sack Chris Wilder. I realise it's tempting to sack a guy with just 2 points on the board by goddamn Christmas, but lads, no other manager's keeping Sheffield United up this season. Chris Wilder has been the heartbeat of this club since League One. I've heard some people try and say this is the worst Premier League team of all time. Not even close. Unlike Derby, who were regularly battered by 5 or 6 goals, the Blades have been in nearly every game this season. They've lost by 1 goal on 9 different occasions, and that includes against the big boys. If Sheffield United pull the trigger and sack Wilder, it wouldn't just be a stupid decision, It would be utterly disgusting. Southampton sell best players. Southampton are on the verge of something great under Ralph Hasenhüttl, but they were also sniffing around the top 4 under Pochettino and Koeman, only to completely mess up their growth as a club by selling all their best players, a move which almost saw them relegated. The old Southampton would have cashed in on Danny Ings by now, or flogged Yannick Vestergaard and James Ward-Prowse. Keep these players and see where it takes you. Tottenham, make Gareth Bale's move permanent. I like Gareth Bale and thought Real Madrid treated him disgustingly, but I think we need to accept Tottenham probably don't need him. This guy is another 31-year-old big name on monster wages who's probably edging towards the Chinese wasteland. I think Mourinho has just stumbled on another Alexis Sanchez, just an injury-prone big name whose hunger for the sport is all but dried up. Bale has played less than 200 minutes of Premier League football this season, and we're 4 days out from Christmas, and he's only started twice. Yes, he was an exciting arrival on loan, but he's not even half the player Son Heung-min is right now, falling for the romance of it and making his signature permanent in the summer, agreeing to fork out what, £500,000 a week? It would be an example of Daniel Levy bursting a blood vessel in his brain, because I doubt Harry Kane is sticking around at a club where he's not the highest paid player, and so suddenly we'd be living in a world where 2 footballers are soaking up a combined £1 million in wages every week at Tottenham Hotspur, the club who haven't won a trophy in 12 years? No. West Brom, don't give Sam Allardyce transfer funds. Anyway, I actually think Big Sam is a necessary appointment. A survival expert who actually gives the Baggies a fighting chance of staying up. But you need to back him in January because otherwise he doesn't work. At Sunderland he was allowed to bring in 5 players in January. 5 players which kept them up. Same at Crystal Palace, bringing in Jeffrey Schlupp, Patrick Van Aanholt, Luka Milivojevic and Mamadou Sakho in the winter window. If you don't back Sam Allardyce, there is no point. West Ham bench Sebastian Haller. Yeah, it's time to give Sebastian Haller another extended run of games up front. Lads, he's only got 7 goals in 15 games this season. This man is turning it around, but David Moyes needs to keep him in his team until May. Wolves sell Connor Cody. Yeah, I've just advocated for Liverpool to sign Connor Cody, but I'm sorry. Wolves should try and prevent this at all costs. Do not sell your damn captain midway through the season. I don't even want to imagine how utterly devastating effect this would have on the Wolves squad. To the confidence and morale, not only to see Diego Jota sold in the summer, and Raul Jimenez to sit out the rest of the season with a head injury, but to then sell their club captain of 5 years, would just be the final nail in the straw for their damn sanity. Christ, they would probably end up finishing 15th in the league. Anyway, that's the end of it, lads. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think would be the utter worst thing you could do right now? Let me know in the comments below. Join the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.